We're a government house. I'm going to try to do this without shaking too much. This is an exhibit of the first colony, our Spanish origins. And this says here, long before Jamestown, Spaniards, free and enslaved blacks and native and Indians, crafted our country's first enduring European settlement, St. Augustine. So we're going to try to fairly slowly go through here and see some of this. This is supposed to be entering what would be a ship. It isn't, of course. Oh, okay. It's a painting. In 1513, just 21 years after Columbus' voyage, de Leon discovered or landed in Florida and claimed it for Spain. I didn't know that. I thought it was later than that. I didn't realize it was only 20 years. I thought it was like 40 years. But Menendez came after him, like 60 years. 65, I think it was 1565. Anyway, we're not going to be able to do a comprehensive. This is just give a basic overview of what's here. And it's in Spanish and English, so. And this is why St. Augustine was a strategic place. So we're just trying to slowly go through the first settlement, the Menendez. And this tells when they attacked Fort Caroline, which we've been to, but I don't recall what year it was. I guess it would have been after 1565. Spaniards were brutal. Everybody was brutal back in those days. That wasn't just the Spanish. You weren't at all successful if you weren't brutal. So they executed a lot of people. That would have been when Elizabeth she had taken that Protestant. Because Mary, her sister, prior had made it all. Some original. Those are original. These are replicas. The ones that you can touch.
What was on the first Thanksgiving menu? Salted pork, garbanzo beans, garlic, sea biscuit. Look, see, I could have eaten that sea biscuit. Almonds, olives, and red wines. Well, there you go. That's what was on. So see, look. Sea biscuit. So then almonds rolled in. Where did they get all of them? They had to brought them with them. And how do you know it was Thanksgiving? It's sad. We had to give you things on there.
thankful they made it here. The others were thankful they made it here first.
Come on in. Keep trying.
He was 24 and he'd already served 7 years at sea as a mechanic.
Found two kinds of buttons.
Paramount Chief and Warrior of coastal Northeast Florida, this area. I don't know the guy's name, so that's interesting. Local chief and first contact. Site was the Timucuan town for almost 700 years. Wow, that's pretty interesting. So it wasn't just perfect for the Spanish, it was perfect for the Indians as well. This is not a virtual reality, but a computer graphic of the original site, the first landing, and where they settled. There's some archaeological
Oh, yes. What'd you find? I found like that.
well excavation.
I'm just kidding.
This talks about archaeological research. And in these drawers is all sorts of different things. We're not going to go through it. I'll just try to show. These are all original. These are all on-site things. Crazy. 17th century olive jar. Strategic outposts. It talks about how various fortifications were. This looked familiar to me because I've been there. The Appalachia Frontier Province, showing the coast, a guardhouse and mission fort complex of San Luis. Been there. That wasn't very long ago. Very cool. Very, very cool. And that is about at least 200 miles from here. So military men, St. Augustine had regular soldiers as well as black and white civilian militias. So this gives you all the aspects. Pirates and corsairs, and all the differences between pirate. St. Augustine was burned. Different people numerous times, different groups, English. The French were never successful with pirates. Drake, I think it was Drake or Riley that sacked the town, and that was a pirate privateer enterprise. Exodus of 1763. This is when, okay, this is when they left here, which was the same time they left our mission in San Luis. And the Appalachians basically dispersed and never be heard from again, although they did find parts of them living in, I guess it was either Alabama or no, it would have been Mississippi. I think it was Alabama. Anyway. This is them building the castle. Oldest stone fort in the country. Here's some original flintlocks, stirrups, horseshoes. Nine wooden forts before the castle was built, and this is a replica of the outer area, corner. It was a series of 9 wooden forts.
I lost you.
They're so beautiful. A series of 9 wooden forts guarded the inlet against sea attack. None were taken. Drake. Okay, it was Drake. I thought it was either Drake or Riley, so it was Drake. Thank you for taking those pictures for me. I don't know what this is, but it looks more recent than anything. Wow, that guy had an interesting, difficult life. So this is telling the story of some of the blacks that were here. Here we have awls and mallets and hammers and spikes. And these are medals or coins. Imagine coins. We're going to go with coins. There's a wedge. I don't know what they call it. They just used to splitter, I guess is what I would call it. Sister cities. Pensacola. I wonder what Santa Elena was. I'm not familiar with that. Santa Elena, South Carolina was Florida's capital. Well, right, because La Florida was the whole area, the whole continent. For those people, they didn't know any different. Frontier missions. Okay, this is cool. Hombre de Dios. Sorry. Frontier. What about St. Augustine's Administrative Center of a vast network of missions? Here we go. This is another one of St. Louis. One of the most important. Partly, I'm sure, because of its size and the way it was situated, but also because we know so much about it. It's farmers and cowboys. It wasn't too long after they first arrived here when they started, doing what they came to do, which was make their livings. Native Americans on the Spanish frontier, Indians. Okay, I'm trying to go slow here. Parish priests and missionaries. Religious societies. I guess these are supposed to represent like homes or something like that. I mean, this would be a window, of course, and you would close the window against attack at night or whenever there would be an attack. Then I guess these other windows, and maybe there would be keep critters out or something. It might be. This is pretty neat. Shows the original layout of the town.
It's a good Charleston.
So that's pretty much it. And here we find the
And in public, this was obvious. In the town planning, the military, the church. But at home, a very different picture emerged of lives
I wish you had
influenced
gone
by
to
the
that
traditions and
mission St. Louis.
perspectives
You've
of
been
many
there, haven't you?
cultures.
When they very
And it is this picture of a multicultural,
Amazing.
blended
They had living historians. They had just what they're depicting. They had military. They had people, growing their food and cutting their food and, preparing their food, all that kind of stuff.
How when people are exposed to so many different cultures in their life, how they're able to just take on new traditions and to explore, a whole new world.
Really have an amazing job. All right, well, we're going to shut this down for now because someone's trying to get in there.